Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
14 students and 1 teacher are dead after a mass shooting in Texas. The suspected shooter is only 18 years old.
As the weather starts to get better, there are more motorcycles on the road. It's a good reminder for local bikers and other drivers to be safe.
3 Illinois Republicans are ready to face off tonight in a GOP debate for governor. We'll preview the event. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson.
We begin with a developing story in Texas. As many as 15 are dead, including 14 students and 1 teacher, after a shooting at an elementary school. Police say the person responsible is also dead. The attack happened around noon at Robb Elementary in Uvalde. That's about 90 miles west of San Antonio. Texas Governor Greg Abbott identified the shooter as an 18-year-old from nearby Uvalde High School.
It's believed that he abandoned his vehicle and entered into the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde with a handgun, and he may have also had a rifle, but that is not yet confirmed according to my most recent report. He shot and killed horrifically, incomprehensibly, 14 students and killed a teacher.
We'll continue to follow this story and bring you more information as it becomes available.
3 state line men are charged with multiple drug crimes. Belvidere police searched a home on 13th Avenue Saturday. They found meth, other controlled substances, drug packaging materials, and drug paraphernalia in the home. Police then arrested 34-year-old Arturo Gomez, 36-year-old Nimrod Hillard, and 31-year-old Jose Gonzalez. They are all charged with unlawful possession with intent to deliver. All 3 are in the Boone County Jail pending bail. As we move into the summer, we're going to see a lot more motorcycles out on the roads.
Safety is a major focus every time a motorcyclist rides. Nikel Delgado talked with some local bikers. Nikel, what do they say they're doing to stay safe?
Eric, Meany, motorcycle riders that I talked to today said that they wear bright, visible clothes to make sure that they're seen and to add accessories to their bike to make sure that they're heard.
In order to try to keep any member of our riding community safe is important to all of us because it is a community.
Chelsea Dadas is the marketing and event coordinator for Kegel Harley-Davidson in Rockford. She says it's important for other drivers to make sure they're looking out for bikers.
It teaches you a lot about smaller maneuvers, how to maneuver around any debris that's in the street. So it's very, very, very helpful. How to stop correctly.
One concern right now in the motorcycle community is automatic driving cars, as they might not recognize motorcycles on the road.
We just want to bring everybody's awareness to the fact that, bikes are going to be on the road, they move differently, they stop, they go differently.
Activities coordinator at Kishwaukee Valley AB, Pierre Hemming, says riders need to make sure they're protected by wearing a helmet, leather boots, pants, jacket, and gloves. Putting extra lights and a loud horn on the bike can also be helpful.
Don't necessarily assume that everybody sees you or hears you or is going to stop for you, so keep in mind that it's our responsibility as well to ride defensively and intelligently and safely.
Data says she started riding a bit later in life than most, but she knows without knowing the proper safety protocols, she could have hurt herself, and recommends everyone to take a class if they can.
Take a longer look, make sure that there is nothing in your blind spot. Do not drive while you are distracted. Please put your phone down. There's plenty of time in this world for our phones. And make sure you keep your grass clippings out of the street. Please, 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 please do that. Also, if you see anything in your general neighborhood that needs to be repaired in the road, please report it.
Kegel Harley-Davidson will have open motorcycle safety classes this fall. Eric?
Thanks, Nikel. A Rockford man returns from Georgia where he took on a piece of military history, all to raise money for local veterans. Carl Nuccio just got back home from Toccoa, Georgia. That's home to Currahee Mountain. Currahee played a critical role in training paratroopers during World War II. It was made famous by the 2001 TV miniseries Band of Brothers. Nuccio ran up and down the mountain following the path of countless soldiers. In the process, he raised $1,500 for LZ Wings.
I like to get involved with vets and appreciate what they've done, because without them, we don't enjoy the freedoms that we have. And I've taught my daughters from the time they could speak to, if you see a vet, think of that.
LZ Wings gives vets a chance to take an airplane ride with a fellow veteran behind the controls.
A luncheon today will help local veterans take a big trip to the nation's capital. Symphony Northwoods Care Center and ProMedica Hospice partnered to raise money for VetsRoll. This is the 4th year the two organizations have teamed up. The All-American Hot Dog and Brat Lunch drive-thru was in Belvidere. It was free, but people were encouraged to give what they could. Proceeds go to VetsRoll, which helps send former military members and Rosie the Riveters to Washington, D.C. Organizers say they're planning for next year's trip. One of the co-founders of VetsRoll say it's good to be back.
It's fun getting back at it. I just love it. You get to see folks you haven't seen in a couple of years, and we start seeing the vets coming in. This is the week that we would have been in D.C. Actually, we would have been in D.C. today had we had the trip this year. And so, you know, there's so many people calling and on social media, commenting and sharing pictures from over the years.
This is the 5th year for the drive-thru lunch fundraiser. Republican candidates for Illinois governor are set to debate for the first time.
Darren Bailey, Jesse Sullivan, and Gary Rabine will take the stage tonight in Chicago. You can see it over on Fox 39. Tamon Bradley has a preview. Eyewitness News is your local election headquarters.
Now Darren is running for governor.
I'm Gary Rabine. I'm running for governor.
My name is Jesse Sullivan, and I'm running to be the next governor of Illinois.
3 candidates facing off in the Illinois Republican primary governor debate on WGN tonight at 7. Absent from the event.
There's nothing the left fears more than Republicans who look like me and think like us.
Richard Irvin, who was invited to the WGN debate but declined. He instead will attend WMAQ's debate with former state senator Paul Schimpf and attorney Max Solomon.
But clearly, because Bailey is going to attack him for being too liberal and really a Democrat, it may be that it's something he just doesn't want to face. He wants things on his own terms, and at least at this point, doesn't appear to be ready to face Darren Bailey face to face.
Richard Irvin has received $45 million in contributions from GOP mega donor Kenneth Griffin, making up the largest campaign fund in the Republican field. But the former Aurora mayor has kept a low profile since announcing his candidacy in January, also missing a Republican forum near Peoria earlier this month, saying he had a prior commitment.
So I sit here and I look at this empty seat tonight, and I think of a mayor of the highest tax city and a sanctuary city in the state of Illinois, and I think of someone who sits and prefers to stay in his basement rather than to have to come and face me.
The candidates in the field hoping to appeal to voters on issues like inflation, crime, the COVID-19 pandemic, protecting the Second Amendment, lowering property taxes, and the pending Supreme Court decision on Roe v. Wade.
Our campaign is running on parents' rights, support for law enforcement so that we can have safe communities and families.
Listen, I'm pro-life.
But with exceptions.
My exceptions are rape, incest, and the health of the mother.
So everybody in one way or another has to touch on the economy and on crime. They carved their own niche out, in some ways by talking about their faith or some of their background. But that's the purpose of tonight's debate. Distinguish yourself.
Again, you can watch that debate locally here on Fox 39. It starts at 7.
President Biden takes new steps on global trade. He just announced a partnership with a dozen countries in the Indo-Pacific.
Hannah Brandt explains what it means for our economy.
President Biden is painting an optimistic vision for the new Indo-Pacific economic framework.
Signing up to work toward an economic vision that will deliver for all people.
But international affairs professor Susan Aronson tells me right now there isn't much substance to it.
A framework that nations have agreed to discuss further, but that's all we have, and that's a big maybe.
The framework only says the 13 included countries will discuss possible rules for digital goods, supply chain commitments, and clean energy goals.
This framework should drive a race to the top among the nations in the Indo-Pacific region.
But without binding rules, Professor Aronson says the framework won't have much impact on trade or the American economy. Instead, it just signals to markets that the nations are trying to find common ground.
We can model till the cows come home, but it is not a fact. Nobody knows what impact it will have.
Even so, Aronson believes the framework is a positive step by the Biden administration.
Trying to act in a creative way to set rules, but it is hamstrung by Congress, which is unwilling to move a trade agreement forward.
In Congress, many lawmakers say they're focused on immediate trade and supply chain problems that are driving higher costs. Senator Marsha Blackburn wants to see the Biden administration get tougher on China.
China should be held to account to uphold the trade deal that is currently in force.
In Washington, I'm Hannah Brandt.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
You know, this afternoon, a pretty nice day to get out, especially as we had some sunshine out there, kind of mixed in with a little bit of the cloud cover, but those clouds starting to roll back in. A live look with our Mercy Now SkyTrack camera out at the Park Hills Golf Course here in Freeport. A couple of folks there out on the driving range. A little windy, though, with that easterly wind, and that wind is something that'll stick with us as we go through the rest of this evening. Also starting to notice a couple of light showers kind of showing up right along and north there of Highway 20 with a dry air in place, maybe a sprinkle or two from this, but not really expecting any rain showers here as we go through this evening. As I mentioned, there might be a couple of sprinkles just lifting north of Rockford, getting in towards Beloit, South Beloit here this evening. That is pretty much going to be it. Still under the influence of that high pressure system and that easterly wind. So that'll keep a lot of that moisture kind of off to the west, focused west of the Mississippi River. Ongoing severe weather down tied in closer to that area of low pressure and the warm front down across the southern plains. Texas, you've got numerous severe thunderstorm warnings, even a couple of tornado warnings down in that direction. Winds for us, they've picked up over the last couple of hours, coming in from the east at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. We've had some gusts today close to 25. It will stay a little windy here tonight with the cloud cover and our wind direction shifting around to the east and southeast. We'll keep our temperatures in the 60s here this evening, dropping only into the 50s overnight. We're at 65 in Rockford, 66 in Rochelle, 64 in Freeport with the cloud cover a little more thick to the north of us. Temperatures have been down just a bit. 64 for our weather watcher Ben in South Beloit. Dew point temperature sits at 38. You are going to notice that dew point number going up, or at least the humidity going up. By this time tomorrow, it'll start to feel a little bit more muggy as our dew point temperatures take a quick jump following a warm front that comes through tomorrow. With that warm front, though, mentioned the increase in the showers and a few embedded thunderstorms. We will see that just before sunrise tomorrow. So for some, it'll be a very soggy and wet early morning commute. Those rain showers then will continue to kind of overspread from south to north. Mid to late morning, warm front then will pass through and north of us when we get into the afternoon. Pay close attention to our temperatures. Tomorrow morning, they're in the 50s, maybe some low 60s. So it is going to be a little cool tomorrow because that temperature will be slow to kind of warm. But once that warm front passes to the north, we'll begin to see those numbers kind of climb. Now, if we see some sunshine, we may be able to make a couple of spots 74, 75 degrees. I have it set about 72 for tomorrow afternoon. And that's where we'll start to feel a little bit more on the muggy end as well. With that warm front to the north, there's a cold front that works in from the west and southwest. That could help fire off a couple additional thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. And then as that low pressure system moves a little closer to us, Thursday we've got some scattered showers and a few isolated thunderstorms there as well. Could see some heavier downpours tied in with that. Now with the thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, there is a risk for a couple of stronger ones. Our risks are low, but they are there. So it is something we do have to kind of keep an eye on. If we get any thunderstorms, they'd be kind of low top supercell thunderstorms. We're not talking about big storms for tomorrow, but given a little bit of that shear in place or that spin that we've got going on in the atmosphere tomorrow, it is possible. So I want you to pay extra attention to the thunderstorm threat, or at least the forecast for tomorrow afternoon. 72, that's where we'll head. We've got a big ridge of high pressure then that'll build off the southeast coast later and towards the weekend, kind of push a little bit further back off to the west, and that, guys, will bring our temperatures into the 80s by the time we get in towards the weekend. We're 70 for Thursday, 72 back on Friday, mid-upper 80s by the time we get into early next week.
Now sports with sports director Scott Leber.
Last call season for the Packers was filled with Aaron Rodgers drama. Would he return or wouldn't he? By comparison this year, no big deal. But Rodgers did not show up for the Packers' first OTA session today. He might not be there next week either. These are voluntary workouts, so Rodgers isn't in jeopardy of getting fined, or there won't be any hard feelings created by him being a no-show. Matt LaFleur knows that Rodgers is probably the last guy in the NFL who needs OTA repetitions.
I talked to him last night for a while, which is great, just to kind of update him on just where we are and go over a few, like we do every off season. There's always tweaks to what you're doing, but no, he's in great spirits, and it was a great conversation. But yeah, I wouldn't anticipate seeing him at least this week.
And the White Sox get back at it tonight. They'll host the Red Sox. The White Sox swept Boston earlier this month in a 3-game series. Well, the Red Sox have heated up since then. They won 8 of the last 10 games. Dylan Cease will pitch for the White Sox. The Cubs are playing ball in Cincinnati again. Can Patrick Wisdom go deep again? He's homered in each of the Cubs' last 4 games. The last Cub to do that was Anthony Rizzo. Wisdom switched to a new bat recently that has a hockey-style handle. Perhaps that's behind his hot streak. And the Rock Valley College softball team begins its quest for a national championship tomorrow near Syracuse, New York. The Golden Eagles will take the field at 11 a.m. Central Time against Monroe College Bronx. The Golden Eagles are the #1 seed in the 18 field. They've played a challenging regular season schedule that has them ready for anything that might come their way at nationals.
I think this whole entire season, our coaches have prepared us very good for postseason. We started back in spring break when we played teams down south. They were really good Division I programs, so definitely they prepared us for postseason.
First Warn Interactive Radar on mystateline.com and brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. So some showers off to the west of us. Might get a sprinkler or two or a brief light shower, especially west of Rockford here later this evening. Better chance for rain will come in tomorrow morning. Could be some heavier rainfall there through the morning commute. A couple of thunderstorms for tomorrow afternoon and then warming by the weekend.
All right, thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some of your time with us. Stay safe.